Today, we're not looking at the usual markets. Instead, we're digging really deep into the psychological stuff, the principles needed for what our classic sources call monumental success and riches.
Yeah, we're looking at the mental engineering behind it all.
Yeah,
And the
but
sources we've gathered based on, decades studying successful people, they all point one way. Greatness isn't just luck.
right.
It's deliberate, it's systematic, built on specific mental forces, channeled energy, and something crucial, persistence.
So our mission today is basically to distill that blueprint. If you want the inside track on how the biggest achievers actually organize their minds, well, stick around. Let's jump right in.
Okay.
So if we have to pick one foundational trait to start with, it's got to be persistence. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's the cornerstone. The sources use a great analogy for it.
Oh, yeah?
They say persistence is to character what carbon is to steel.
Carbon to steel. I like that. It makes it tough, resilient.
Precisely. It's the structure giving it hardness. Persistence is defined as that sustained effort you need to kind of transmute desire into, well, money or whatever the goal is.
And it relies on, what was it, willpower and desire.
An irresistible combination. Willpower and desire working together.
So it's not just about grinding away. It's about having this inner structure that resists, pressure and negativity.
That's a key insight, yes.
Which probably explains why these incredibly persistent people are often seen differently.
Definitely. Think about the big names the sources study: Ford, Rockefeller, Carnegie, Edison.
Yeah, often called cold-blooded or ruthless.
Right. But the philosophy argues that's just a misunderstanding. It's not that they lacked feeling.
It's that they're just so focused.
Focus on their plans, yes.
Yeah.
And following them with such intense persistence that temporary setbacks just didn't stop them. The kind of setbacks that derail, almost everyone else.
That refusal to stop
Yeah.
is it the persistence test the sources mention.
That's the concept. It's like life, or this hidden guide, as they put it, tests people.
A hidden guide. Sounds a bit mystical.
Well, maybe metaphorical, maybe not. But the idea is you face discouraging things, opposition.
Okay.
And if you see defeat as anything more than temporary, if you actually quit, you fail the test. Achievement only comes to those who stick it out.
There are some amazing stories about this, like Fannie Hurst, the novelist.
Oh, fantastic example. 36 rejections.
36, from the Saturday Evening Post alone, before she finally broke the ice, as they say.
And look what happened. Her novel, Great Laughter. The movie rights sold for $100,000 before it was even published. That's persistence paying off.
Wow. And it's not just writers. What about W.C. Fields and Marie Dressler?
Right, staging comebacks in their 60s. After losing everything, all they really had left was that ingrained habit of persistence. That was their capital.
Okay, so if it's a habit, how do you build it?
Right.
It's not just luck.
Yeah. No, definitely not luck. It's built consciously. There are 8 factors listed. Things like definiteness of purpose, knowing exactly what you want. And intense desire, we mentioned that. Yes, and self-reliance. Crucially, building that self-reliance through, well, autosuggestion, telling yourself, your subconscious, repeatedly that you will succeed, reinforcing it daily.
So if persistence is the steel, what's the rust? What breaks it down?
The main culprit, almost always, is the fear of criticism.
Fear of what people think.
Exactly. And it's insidious because most people don't even realize it's controlling them deep down in the subconscious.
So they don't take risks.
They don't take calculated risks. They don't set massive goals because they're terrified of failing publicly. That fear, the sources say, kills more ambition than anything else.
Okay, so persistence keeps you going. But you need more than just effort, right? You need structure, power.
Yes, raw effort without direction is wasted. That brings us to power.
And how do the sources define that?
Very precisely. Organized and intelligently directed knowledge. Just knowing stuff isn't power.
It has to be organized.
Organized and directed, usually through coordinating with other people. Otherwise, plans just sit there, inert.
And the main tool for that coordination is the mastermind principle.
Yeah, mastermind, yes.
Yeah.
Defined as the coordination of knowledge and effort in a spirit of harmony between 2 or more people for the attainment of a definite purpose.
Creating a shared brain, almost.
In a way, yeah, a shared mental resource. It has 2 sides to it.
Okay, what are they?
First, there's the economic characteristic. That's the practical bit.
The obvious advantage of teamwork.
Right. Synergy. Getting advice, counsel, cooperation that you just wouldn't have alone. Andrew Carnegie is the classic example.
He had a big group, didn't he?
About 50 key people in his mastermind group, each bringing specialized knowledge. The sources say nearly every great fortune is built on this principle.
Okay, that makes sense. But then there's the psychic characteristic. That sounds, well, a bit more out there. This third mind thing.
It does sound abstract, I know, but think of it like amplifying thought energy.
Amplifying.
Yeah, the philosophy sees the brain like, say, an electric battery. Connect two or more brains in perfect harmony, focused on one goal.
And you get more power.
You get an intangible, cumulative thought energy that's greater than the sum of its parts. This extra energy boosts insights, sparks ideas for everyone in the group. It's not just brainstorming, it's like a shared mental upgrade.
So, examples. Henry Ford.
Perfect example. He wasn't just an engineer. He overcame poverty, lack of formal education by deliberately allying with great minds. Edison, Burbank, Firestone.
He tapped into their brain power.
Absorbed and leveraged their thought power, exactly. And for sheer scale, look at Gandhi.
How so?
He achieved incredible power, not with weapons, but by getting over 200 million people to coordinate their minds and actions harmoniously for one purpose.
200 million. That's staggering.
The synopses call it an unprecedented miracle of cooperation. It just shows the immense power available when human energy is truly organized.
All right, so we have persistence, the engine, we have the mastermind, the structure. What about the fuel, the raw energy?
Now we get to a really provocative part of the philosophy. The sources point directly to sex desire.
As the primary fuel.
As the most powerful human desire, yes. Because it motivates people to levels of action, imagination, courage, persistence, creativity that nothing else does. It's seen as the fundamental creative energy of all genius.
But obviously not just raw desire. It needs to be channeled. That's transmutation.
Correct. Transmutation is that art, and it is an art, of switching the mind's focus away from physical expression.
Towards creative effort.
Towards creative effort. Art, literature, invention, building fortunes. You're taking that intense primal energy and redirecting it into productive thought.
The sources also make a strong claim about age and success relating to this.
They do. They observe that truly outstanding success often doesn't arrive until men are past 40, even 50.
And the reason given is?
The tendency to dissipate that powerful energy through, let's say, overindulgence in physical expression earlier in life, before learning transmutation.
But hang on, couldn't that just be about gaining experience, knowledge, compounding over time? How do they isolate it specifically to sexual energy?
That's a fair question. While maturity and experience obviously count, the philosophy emphasizes the sheer intensity needed for world-changing achievement. That sustained, high-level creative drive
Requires harnessed energy.
Exactly. They argue it's directly linked to that powerful primal drive. When someone consciously learns to redirect that specific energy, that's when their greatest work often begins. It provides the necessary fire.
And there's a crucial distinction made between just sex desire and something more constructive.
Oh, absolutely vital. Raw sex desire alone can be chaotic, even destructive. Think Napoleon after leaving Josephine, according to the sources.
Right.
But when it's blended, stabilized, elevated by love and romance, that's different. That combination brings calmness, poise, sound judgment, and truly constructive effort.
And the role of women in this is framed as pretty central.
Extremely central. The philosophy flat out states that man's greatest motivating force is his desire to please woman.
A desire to please.
Seen as a universal driver, providing security, status symbols like nice clothes or cars, wealth. The drive for great achievement is often, at its root, about winning her favor.
Which gives women immense psychological power.
The power to make or break a man, as the sources put it. A huge influencing force.
Okay, so energy source, transmuted sex, organization, mastermind, driving force, persistence. Now, the operating system, the subconscious mind, its role.
Think of the subconscious as, well, the control room. It's like a vast filing cabinet recording everything from your senses. Every impression. And crucially, it's the link between your conscious, finite mind and what the sources call infinite intelligence, the bridge.
In influencing this control room, it's not about logic.
Not primarily, no. Cold reason doesn't really move it. The subconscious acts only on thoughts that are mixed with feeling or emotion.
Ah, emotion is the key.
Emotion is the fuel, the language it understands. If you want that desire for wealth or anything else to become an active command, you have to emotionalize it.
Which means managing your emotional state becomes critical, this emotional inventory idea.
Exactly. You have to actively cultivate the 7 major positive emotions. Things like desire, faith, love, sex, enthusiasm, romance, hope.
And actively avoid the negatives.
Rigorously avoid the 7 major negative emotions: fear, jealousy, hatred, revenge, greed, superstition, anger. You can't let them take root.
Because positive and negative can't coexist.
They cannot occupy the mind simultaneously. So managing this isn't a one-off thing. It has to become a fixed habit.
A habit of positivity.
Yes, you have to deliberately practice feeling the positive emotions until they dominate your mental landscape. That effectively shuts the door on the negative ones and ensures the instructions you're feeding your subconscious are constructive.
This sheds light on why, according to these sources, prayer sometimes doesn't seem to work.
Precisely. If someone only turns to prayer in desperation when everything else has failed,
Their mind is probably full of fear.
full of fear and doubt, and the subconscious acts on the dominant emotion. So, you might pray for success, but if you're vibrating with fear of failure,
Fear is what gets transmitted.
fear is the signal sent out. For prayer or any intention to connect with infinite intelligence, the thought must be mixed, saturated with faith. That transforms it into the kind of spiritual vibration that can be acted upon. So, when you boil it all down, the whole philosophy is about mastering these really profound, often subtle forces.
It's not just work hard.
No, it's much more like a science. Harnessing primal energy through transmutation, coordinating thought through the mastermind, and achieving total emotional command over your subconscious. It's a complete system.
And then emotional control? That leads to the final piece, doesn't it? The brain as a broadcasting station.
Exactly. The sources, looking at scientists like Bell and even hinting at Gates later, saw the brain not just as storage, but as a transmitter and receiver.
So thoughts go out.
Thoughts, especially when stepped up by intense emotion, like that powerful redirected sex energy we talked about, become directed energy, traveling through the ether, potentially linking minds.
And allowing your creative imagination, the receiving set, to pick up new ideas, inspired ideas.
That's the concept. Pulling insights seemingly out of nowhere, but actually facilitated by this tuned, high-energy mental state. So the real takeaway isn't about waiting for luck. It's about learning how to make your own breaks systematically.
By harnessing this invisible power stream.
Recognizing and deliberately using that positive thought process, that stream of power that carries you onward and upward to wealth, as the old texts put it.
Okay, so here's a final thought for you, the listener, to mull over. Riches don't respond to wishes. They only respond to definite plans, backed by definite desires, pushed forward by constant persistence. So ask yourself right now, what do you really want most? Can you state it with absolute crystal clarity? Because that self-made break, that success, it only comes through that persistence and total definiteness of purpose.
If you